Okay. So, Shravana Harana Dakshina Kvanaya Vinaya Kinnarair Giyase. So, this Panchamam Dandakam is starting because we find a new Nagana Ragana pair that's coming up here. So, that has been our way of classifying this, right? The start of the Dandaka. Otherwise, this whole thing is one Dandaka. It is not, it is Shyamala Dandakam. Shyamala Dandakani abdinilla. It doesn't say that in plural. It's not many Dandakas. The whole thing can be considered as one Dandakam. But just because how a Dandakam is described in definition, it's broken into multiple. So wherever there is this new Nagana Ragana combination that's coming up, it's a new Dandakam. And also for us, if you structure it that way, it becomes the way we approach it in a structured manner, it becomes a little becomes a little approachable. Otherwise, it just seems like a long prose, right? So, Shravana Harana Dakshina Kvanaya Vinaya. Now, in the previous Dandakam, we closed with talking about the various people or the various deities, the various forms, beings, Kinnaras, Vidyadharas, so many people surrounding the Devatas and so many people surrounding Devi in a mandala. And this is kind of also a little bit extending into that. Okay. So he's saying here, Shravana, Harana, Dakshina, Kvanaya, Vinaya, Kinnarair Giyase. So this Kinnaras are a certain form, certain kind of beings. Right? Yaksha, Gandharva, Kinnara. These are all different kinds of beings. And they are also worshipping you. Kinnaraihi Giyase. See here, as I was saying, this Karmani Prayoga, the whole Dandaka, Shyamala Dandakam has this passive tone. In Sanskritam, that is very, 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 in a very, if you have to address something or say something in a fairly sophisticated way, the Karmani Prayoga is used. Active is not used so much. It is always passive because passive is active kind of attacks or approaches the person directly. Passive, there is a certain humility, there is a certain this was done by me. Instead of saying I did it, this was done by me. It brings in a little bit of a gentleness, a certain level of culture and sophistication, right? So that is how he's used this significantly around the whole Dandaka. Okay. Now, okay. Kalpaka sharing something. She's saying Kinnara is a creature described as part human and part bird, and have a strong association with music and love. Interesting. So Kinnaras are apparently half bird and half human. These are Kinnaras, and they seem to have a lot of passion for music. So here they are playing Veenaya Kinnarair Giyase. They are singing and they're glorifying you through the Veena that they have. What is the kind of Veena they have? Dakshina Veenaya. Dakshina is actually a term in Sanskritam. There are some terms that have a lot of meanings in Sanskritam. Dakshina is one word like that. Dakshina word is used in many different places and different meanings. One of the meanings here is it's very beautiful, melodious. That is one meaning. Dakshina Kvanaya. Kvanaya is sound. Kvanaya is sound. Kvanaya. Dakshina Kvanaya means very beautiful, pleasant sound. With that pleasant sound, or the Veena that creates this pleasant sound. Dakshina Kvanaya Veenaya. See again, this is also a lot of times Kalidasa's work, not a lot of times, always Kalidasa's work is used as used to study Sanskritam also, right? Kvanaya, Kvanaya is again Tritiya Vibhakti, the third Tritiya Vibhakti, because this thing Giyase is used in Prathama, which is Devi is used in the Prathama. The one who is doing is used in the Tritiya. Again, passive sense because of the Karmani Prayoga. So Veenaya, and in Sanskritam, the adjective that precedes the word, the noun, the Shabda or the Nama, that takes the same form or the same Vibhakti as the noun. So if you're saying the noun goes into third Vibhakti or the third declension, which is Veenaya, then the Dakshina Kvanaya also goes into the third Vibhakti. That is why it's Dakshina Kvanaya Veenaya. And you see, you would have seen this kind of usage all over the place here, right? Shravana Harana. Shravana Harana means that song or sound which is captivating to one's ears. Shravana Harana. Harana means what? To captivate. Harati Harana. And Shravana is what? Ears or listening faculty, the faculty of hearing, listening. So it captivates the ears. What? This Dakshina Kvanaya. The Dakshina Kvana that is there, which is beautiful Dakshina Kvana Veena. It is actually Dakshina Kvana Veena. Dakshina Kvana Veena is Shravana Harana. This beautiful sound producing Veena is very pleasant to the ear. It's captivating to the ears. With such a Veena, Kinnareihi Giyase. These Kinnaras are singing or playing your glories, singing your glories. Yaksha Gandharva Siddhangana Mandalair Archyase. This we saw in the previous verse also, right? In the previous Dandaka also, we saw the same usage of just a little earlier, you see. Yaksha Gandharva Siddhangana Mandalair Archite. Yaksha Gandharva Siddhangana Mandalaihi Archite. They form a mandala around you and then they worship you. Same thing here. Archyase. You are going in the second person. Archyase is going in the second person here, but it's the same thing. Yaksha Gandharva Siddha. Yaksha Gandharva Siddha, they form a mandala around you and they are worshipping you. Sarva Saubhagya Vanchavati Bhirvadhu Bhisuranam Samaradhyase. So Suranam Vadhu Bhihi. So again here Karmani Prayoga. Suranam Vadhu. The Sura are Devatas. So one second. Sorry. So then you have Vanchavati Bhi, Vanchavati Bhi, Vadhu Bhi, Puranam Samaradhyase. So again, Suranam Vadhuhu. So these are the Vadhu means what? Vadhu in Sanskritam means, we know, those who know Hindi also know, Vadhu means the wives or the Vadhu is the newlywed, the newlywed lady is called Vadhu. So Suranam Vadhu.
Bride.
Suranam Vadhu is the newlywed or the ladies who are wed to Suraha, Devatas. Okay. Now, how are these Vadhus or these ladies? They are Vanchavati. Vanchavati means those who are carrying a desire. Like Buddhimati, Shantimati, Kantimati, like Vanchavati. So when somebody is carrying Buddhi, becomes Buddhimati. In that sense, when somebody is Vanchavati is when somebody is having Vancha. Vancha means what? Desire. And what is the desire they are carrying? Sarva Saubhagya Vancha. They want to be Sarva Saubhagya. They always want to feel prosperous. They always want to feel auspicious. They always want to feel Mangalam. Who? The Suranam Vadhuhu. Vadvaha. The Suranam Vadvaha. Said Vadvaha because it's the plural of Vadhu. So the Vadhus of Suraha are coming there with the desire of Sarva Saubhagyavati. I want to be Sarva Saubhagyavati. With that desire, they are coming and Samaradhyase. Sama Aradhyase. Samyak Aradhyase. They come and pray to you or worship you. They do your Aradhana. Sam Aradhyase. Okay. Now this whole actually okay, so Kalpaka's asked a question. Why is it in Madhyama Purusha Mahoday? So I don't know till from the starting he has not used Madhyama Purusha. He is only he's
ஏன்னா பைரவீர் அர்ச்சித்தேன்னு இருக்கு அங்க வந்து எல்லாமே
I know everywhere else actually if you
இல்ல
see
இல்ல ஆனா சதுர்த்தம்ல பாதியிலே பாருங்க வந்துருத்தல பாஜ்யசே
here is it from here correct. From here he starts Preeti Bhaja Vasantena Chanandite then Bhakti Bhajam Param Shreyase Kalpase. So basically maybe you would have felt poor உனக்கு மரியாதை கொடுத்தது.
இல்ல இது வந்து எப்படி மத்தியமால இருக்கிறதுக்கு எனக்கு புரியல இந்த மாதிரி கான்டெக்ஸ்ட். அவர் பாடினா வந்து அது அகம் அந்த இடத்துல இருக்கணும் அவரை சொல்ற மாதிரி. வேற யாரோ பண்றானா அந்த பிரதமால இருக்கணும். இந்த தவ மத்தியம புருஷம்
துவம் கீயசே. So kinnaraihi tvam giyase. So the kinnaras are singing you. So or you are being sung by the kinnaras. You are being mandalaihi archase. Tvam mandalaihi archase. Tvam archase. You are tvam archase by the mandalaihi of Siddhangana. You understand?
முன்னாடி வந்து சும்மா அவ பண்றா அப்படிங்கிறது மட்டும் இருக்கு. இப்போ வந்து
so yeah, so here it is correct. So there I think the focus was on the people who are doing it. Here the focus is on the person who's getting done. So on Devi the focus is now in Tvam Samaharadhyase. You are getting worshipped by who? Surana Vadhubhihi, who are Vanchavati-bhihi. With the what Vancha they are carrying? Sarva Saubhagya Vanchavati-bhihi Vadhubhihi Suranam Tvam Samaradhyase. So here now he is going into this Madhyama Purusha like you're saying, which means it is now you. So there is a direct engagement with Devi, and he is probably, it's hard to figure out or imagine for us what the experience for Kalidasa is happening at that time, but he must have gotten very intimate, possibly in some form he must have had a very intimate experience with her, and then he is probably his outpour is coming from there. Astu. Then Sarva Vidya Visheshatmakam Chatugatha Samucharanam. So as I said, I'll fix this Visheshatmakam. There's a typo here, both in the Sanskritam and the transliterated one. Sarva Vidya Visheshatmakam Chatugatha Samucharanam Kanthamulo Lasad Varna Rajitrayam Komala Shyamalodara Pakshadvayam Tunda Shobhati Duri Bhavat Kim Shukam Tam Shukam Lalayanti Parikridase. Okay, so this is looks a little complex, but it's fairly straightforward. What he's saying is Tvam Parikridase. You are Lalayanti Parikridase. You Parikridase means you're enjoying, you're rejoicing, you're joyful, you're in a joyful state. How are you in that joyful state? Lalayanti parikridase. This is the what do you call as the present participle, present continuous tense. Sorry, present continuous tense. Lalayanti parikridase. So you are enjoying, but
Shatrupati.
lalayanti, which means you are how do you say this?
While being Lalayanti, you are playing அந்த லாலிச்சுண்டே விளையாடுற.
அந்த இது பண்ணிட்டு இது
While
தடவை
doing this, you are doing this.
correct தடவை
Shatrupati.
கொடுத்துட்டே shukam lalayanti parikridase. So you are visualize Devi is இப்போ she is the shukamna, shuka is the parrot that Devi has. So she is playing with the shuka lalayanti parikridase. So she's playing with the shuka and she's rejoicing in that. Shukam lalayanti parikridase. Now there is a tam shukam. What it means is, before that tam, whatever is referred to here is about the shuka. Okay, so it says ki drisham shukam. So basically the question is, what kind of shukam, what kind of parrot? Sarva vidya visheshatmakam shukam, chatu gatha samucharanam shukam, kantamulollasad varnarajitrayam shukam, komala shyamalodara pakshadvayam shukam, tunda shobhati duri bhavatkim shukam shukam. So these are all adjectives to the shuka, the parrot. What kind of parrot? Sarva vidya visheshatmakam. It is the embodiment of all knowledge, embodiment of all sorts of, all kinds of vidya, knowledge, arts, everything. Sarva vidya visheshatmakam, vishesha vidya, all forms of vidya, ordinary knowledge and the highest knowledge, the aparavidya, paravidya, all kinds of knowledge, all kinds of understanding. That shuka vishesh atmakam, it represents, it embodies that. Then chatu gatha samucharanam shukam. Chatu gatha samucharanam means the sound or the voice that comes from the shuka's mouth. Ucharanam, the ucharanam that the shuka is doing is chatu gatha. It is so beautiful. Chatu, it is so pleasant and so pleasing. Chatu gatha shukam, chatu gatha samucharanam. Ucharanam is to ucharanam பண்றதுன்னு சொல்லுவோமே, to actually say, to speak. Vak. So the vak, whatever her vak, the shuka's vak is so chatu. It is beautiful to hear. That kind of shuka, chatu gatha samucharanam shukam, kanthamulollasat varnarajitrayam shukam. Kanthamula is at the base of the neck. Ullasat, joyfully. There are varnarajitrayam. There are 3 lines that appear here. Actually எனக்கே இருக்கு போல இருக்கு. I think when we start aging anyways, it will start appearing, but this is not like that kind of line. Okay, these lines are not these lines are not coming out of the wrinkle in her neck, in the shuka's neck. This is coming from ullasad. Ullasad means it is shining bright. Ullasa. So kantha moola ullasad varna rajitrayam. Varna raji is group of colors, and there are 3 lines of that kind. Okay, so okay. So okay, Kalpaka is saying Chatu is clever. Thank you, Kalpaka. Chatu gatha. Chatu is a very intelligent, and gatha is the singing or the song that's coming from this shuka, from this parrot, the intelligent parrot. Komala Shyamalodara pakshadvayam. It has got 2 paksha wings. Pakshadvayam. Komala Shyamala udara. Udara is wide. And Komala Shyamala. Komala is gentle, soft, tender. Shyamala is the color of Shyama. dark hued. Pakshadvayam, two wings. Tunda shobhati duri bhavat kim shukam. The tunda, the beak, is the shobha of the beak is it puts the kimshuka flower. Kimshuka flower is another flower which is also red in color. It puts the kimshuka flower, it surpasses the kimshuka flower. Ati duri bhavat. Ati duri bhavat means the distance in comparison is far between the beak, the beauty, the shobha of the tunda and the kimshuka's color. There is a vast difference. There is so much distance between them. So which means the beauty of the kimshuka cannot even come close to the beauty of the tunda. Tunda shobha ati duri bhavat kimshukam. Tam shukam lalayanti parikridase. So you are caressing that particular parrot and you are in a state of joy. Okay. So if you see the parrot, the adjectives of the parrot are what? Sarva Vidya Visheshatmakam. So it's the embodiment of our knowledge, the embodiment of all beautiful Gatha Samucharanam. It is the it embodies sound. Okay, embodies, or it is the representation of sound. Kanthamulol lasad varna rajitrayam. The beautiful colors in the neck area, throat. Komala Shyamalodara Pakshadvayam. There are two large wings. Tunda Shobha Ati Duri Bhavat Kimshukam. The comparison between Kimshuka and the beak. So there are, I mean, if you want to look at it, there are several things that are presented here in a way. Visheshatmakam, so which is Vidya. So there's all forms of Vidya or Kala, that is the embodiment there. There is sound, which is the representation of sound is there. There is color, there's form. Then in terms of wings, there is we could look at it as the element of air. And then you have the tunda, which is the beak, which is compared to a flower. So the shuka that is sitting on Devi's shoulder, in fact, one of the ways this shuka or the parrot is described is, there is one story of Bhaskara Raya. He is a very great Devi Upasaka, and he has written several books on Shri Vidya, and particularly on the Devi Upasana. He has written books, and he's also considered to be an authority. I don't know, he was somewhere around 13th, 14th century or something like that, or probably earlier. He is considered to be an authority on Devi Upasana or Shri Vidya. So somebody asked him, there is this, in Lalita Sahasranama, there is this reference to Chatushkoti, Chatushashtikoti, how does that go? Chatushashtikoti, 64 crores, right? There are 64 crores Devis. There is a reference to that. Raghu, can you look up this one? Chatushashtikoti. There is that the verse in Lalita Sahasranama. So there's a reference to 64 crores. So somebody in probably in the Raja's court or wherever challenges him and says that there are Chatushashti Koti 64 crore Devis referenced in the Lalita Sahasranama. Can you name them? you call yourself to be a great Devi Upasaka or a Devi Bhakta, can you name them? And then he just closes his eyes, he prays, and then he starts naming every one of them. Okay? He starts naming Chatushashti Upacharadhya Chatushashti Kalamayi Maha Chatushashti Koti Yogini Ganasevita. Thank you, Kalpaka. Chatushashti Upacharadhya Chatushashti Kalamayi Maha Chatushashti Koti Yogini Ganasevita. Maha Chatushashti Koti Yogini. 64 crore yoginis are there. Yogini Ganasevita. You are being worshipped by Chatushashti Koti yoginis. Can you name them? So he starts naming them. And then after he starts naming 64 crores name pannona evlo. So at the end of it,
there is one god, right? Chauchetti something like
Chaushashti Ghat. Yeah, there is a thing in Kashi, Chaushashti Ghat.
So that's the place where he gives the names.
He gives the names there, right?
Yeah.
Chaushashti Ghat. So yeah, in Kashi, correct. So what happens is after this, somebody comes and asks, very sincere devotees or bhaktas come and ask, how is it possible that you were able to do this? He said, they asked him, how do you know? He said, I don't know. There is a parrot that came and sat on my shoulder and it kept saying one by one and I kept repeating those names. So the parrot, we spoke about this, the essence of the parrot during the Mangala, the Dhyana Shloka itself. How the parrot is the representation of that aspect where if we offer ourselves in surrender to Devi, then something that is not possible can help you. So which means, like, for example, you need the mind to transcend the mind, right? You require the mind to transcend the mind. So in the same, and that is represented through the Shuka, the parrot. The parrot is something that cannot speak. You train it to speak. You can train the parrot to speak as though a human being speaks. So this kind of possibility is what the parrot is displaying. And also, of course, the parrot is a representation of Devi. Meenakshi carries a parrot and all of this. So this parrot is an embodiment of Devi herself. So what is happening here is he is coming and describing that parrot, which that parrot itself in itself is so glorious. And that parrot is the embodiment of you, O Devi. That parrot you are Lalayanti Parikridase. You are caressing the parrot and you are enjoying yourself, right? So which means it's showing that that parrot is very close to Devi, and the symbol of Devi is that parrot. The bird is the symbol of Devi herself. Okay. Then he moves on to the next one where he says, Pani Padma Dvayena Akshamalam api Sphatikim Jnana Saratmakam Pustakam Chankusham Pashama Bibhrati Yena Sancintyase Tasya Bhaktrantara Gadya Padyatmike Bharati Nissaret. Okay. So from here onwards, you will see that he is almost starting to express as though it is a Phalashruti. From this verse onwards, you will notice it will sound like a Phalashruti, which means he will say the benefits that one gets by worshipping Devi. What is that? The first one he is saying, Pani Padmadvayena Akshamalam api Sphatikim Jnana Saratmakam Pustakam Cha Ankusham Pasham Bibhrati Yena. So this kind of a Devi, what kind of Devi? Pani Padma Dvayena Akshamalam api Sphatikim Jnana Saratmakam Pustakam Cha Ankusham Pasham Abibhrati ஏன சஞ்சிந்தியசே. இது மாதிரி ஒரு தேவியை யார் யோசிக்கிறாளோ, சஞ்சிந்தியசே, who is who meditates upon such a Devi, tasya vaktrantarat, from his mouth, from his vaktra, from his vak, gadya padyatmike bharati nissaret. Gadya, padya, all kinds of literature, poetry, prose, everything will flow, and knowledge. Bharati means Saraswati. Saraswati herself will flow in this form from such a person's mouth, from such person's vak. So from here on, we will start seeing the tone slightly changes. It is less of glorifying Devi, it is more of telling us how to meditate upon her and what is the benefits that one gets. So Pani Padma Dvayena, in her lotus like hands, Pani Padma Dvayena, Akshamalam api Spatikim. So Spatiki Malam, Spatikim Akshamalam. So Spatikim, crystal, Akshamalam are the rosary beads, crystal rosary beads. Visualize Devi this way. She's got Padma on one hand, the other hand she's got rosary beads which are crystals, Spatika. And then Jnana Saratmakam Pustakam. What is the Jnana Saratmakam Pustakam? Vedas, Veda Shastras, or the book which has spiritual understanding, spiritual knowledge. That book is in her hand, the other hand. And the fourth hand she has Ankusham, Cha Ankusham. So Pani Padmadvayena, in one hand it is she's got the lotus in one side, then Sphatiki Makshamala on the other hand, crystal rosary beads. The third hand she's got Jnana Saratmakam Pustakam, the Veda Shastras, and Cha Ankusham, the gourd, Ankusha. She's got these. Then she has got Pasham Abibhrati, and she's holding the Ankusham and Pasha. So basically she's holding Pasha Ankusham. These that she is holding, Yena, by whom this form is meditated upon, Sancintyase, by whom this form is meditated upon, Tasya, from his mouth, Vaktrantarat, Gadya Padyatmika Bharati Nissaret. Nissaret means without any form of hesitation or any form of interruption, it will flow. Sarati, Nissarati means without any interruption it will flow. What will flow? இப்போ சில பேர்லாம் வந்து நம்ம பார்க்குறோமே, there are people we see when they start speaking நிறுத்த மாட்டாளான்னு இருக்கும். Nissaret, Bharati Nissaret, just keep flowing. So but the important thing is the what he is mentioning here is Gadya Padyatmika Bharati Nissaret. So prose and poetry and literature will flow. And sometimes when we are not able to control what we are saying or keep speaking, there's a term for it. It's called verbal diarrhea. We call that as verbal diarrhea, which means you don't know where to stop and it's just going on and on and on and on. So what is important is also Devi ability to speak is one thing, the ability to express is one thing, and also to know where not to speak is also another thing. That is also very important. Where not to speak, where not to say something, where not to just because I can speak, just because I can say, just because I have an idea, just because I know something, is it right to just speak and say? Or do I have to say where it means, where it is appropriate? This knowledge and understanding also Devi Shyamala Raja Shyamala or Saraswati has to give us. So Gadya Padyatmika Bharati Nissaret. When Devi flows in this way as Saraswati, she flows appropriately. The best word I have found for appropriately is dittam. தமிழ்ல திட்டமா இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவா. திட்டமா இருக்கணும். I don't know if it's a common use. I've heard this word used in my household.
So for Tirumala Prasadam, the measure of ingredient is called dittam. So they have a proportion of ingredient.
See that dittam.
Laddu. So the word is dittam.
Dittam, is it?
Hmm.
So that must be some connection. I don't know what, but then I found this word very nice. I've heard this from my childhood.
திட்டமா இருக்கணும்னா எல்லாமே கரெக்டா இருக்கணும்.
It must be in the right proportion.
Correct இல்ல, which is needed for that particular thing.
In the right
proportion.
The right proportion. So I found this the right kind of a very nice word that represents this meaning.
Even ஒரு பொண்ணு ஒரு ரொம்ப பியூட்டிஃபுல் அழகான ஒரு பாடி இந்த ஸ்கெட்ச் எல்லாம் சொல்லுவா இல்லையா, அது திட்டமா இருக்கு உடம்பு, திட்டமா இருக்கா உருவம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவா. அது கூட சொல்லுவா, அழகுக்கும் சொல்லுவா திட்டமா அழகா.
Correct. So then at the prayer there we are saying to Devi is what? Pani Padmadvaye Nakshamala Mapi Spatikim Jnana Saratmakam Pustakam Chankusham Pashama Bibhrati Yena Sanchintyase Tasya Vaktrantarat Gadya Padyatmika Bharati Nissaret. Oh Mother, I meditate upon you in this form as Saraswati. May you reside in my vak, in my mind, in my vak, so that I am able to deliver whatever I am delivering, giving whatever needs to go out. May it be useful, may it be meaningful, may it be purposeful, may it be helpful, may it be pleasing to somebody when it goes out. Right? Gadya Padyatmike Bharati Nissaret. May it feel like it's literature and poetry and beautiful in that way. Right? So this is our prayer. So this is what he says one will obtain when we pray or worship Devi in this form. Okay. So with that we will close for today. Om कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. सदाशिवायेति समर्पयामि. जगदम्बिकायै इति समर्पयामि. सद्गुरुनाथायेति समर्पयामि. हरि ओं तत्सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. Om.